nuggets. I mean, they are nuggets. So they're very they're very short and straight to the point. I will do a bit of sharing of proverbs if we have enough time. But for the first part of our conversation today, I'll be focusing on the do's and don'ts of gaining financial stability. Let's start with the do's. And there are about 15 do's, I think about 15 or 16 of them. But let's dive right in. So we'll start with the do's, then we'll go to the don'ts. Do number one. So the things you should do if you want to gain financial stability. Please create a budget. It starts anything financial wisdom, financial stability, financial safety begins with a budget. A budget is a plan about how, or a plan, a detailed plan showing how you are going to spend the money you are yet to receive. Many people do their budget in their head. Some people still do budget by using biro and paper. People who are very smart, people who want financial stability, do a budget the proper way using tech solutions, simple tech solutions. I'm not saying anything to tech, a very simple Excel file. If you don't have an Excel file to design your own exhaustive budgeting template, you can design one by yourself. But by all means, ensure that your budget is exhaustive. So your budget has to be very detailed. For example, the word miscellaneous shouldn't appear in your personal budget. What is miscellaneous? What does it mean? A lot of people will do, maybe they earn 100,000 naira. You will see, oh, 50,000 naira for daily living, for cost of living, 20,000 naira for savings and investments, 10,000 naira for miscellaneous.
Sorry,
That
ma.
is the, yes, okay.
Sorry, ma. Sorry, ma. You are not live for some few minutes. Initially, there was a break in network, ma. So please, could you
Oh, I
start
see.
afresh?
Oh my word. Okay, so and I don't know where I was when I went live. So let me go right back to the beginning, right? Okay. I'm really sorry about that. I have just been informed that I wasn't live from the beginning. So let me reintroduce what I started with. So I said at the beginning of our conversation that our topic for today is being financially prudent, gaining financial stability. And I had said when it comes to topics like this, I like to start by defining keep financially prudent. So we have prudent, being prudent. I'll look at a few of the dictionary definitions of being prudent. Number one dictionary definition says being prudent means you are wise or judicious in practical affairs, discreet or circumspect. It also says being careful in providing for the future. Another definition says being prudent means showing good judgment in avoiding risks and uncertainties. And there's a last definition, which I really like. It's very simple and it just explains what being prudent means. It says someone who is prudent is sensible and careful. Now we understand what it means to be prudent. What does it mean to be financially stable? Because we are saying being financially prudent, gaining financial stability. So, what does it mean to be financially stable? Because that's the ultimate goal, right? Financial stability, and I had said earlier that I love this simple definition that says financial stability means living life on your own terms. When you are financially stable, it means that you are not bothered about where money is coming from. You are not bothered about how what the next day will bring in terms of your finances. You are not anxious about how to earn money. You are financially stable when you have arrived at a point where you have total control over your income and your expenses, and you are able to live life on your own terms. Doesn't that sound like where everyone should be? Why aren't we all there? because we are not doing some things right and we are doing some things the wrong way. I had also said we're going to divide today's conversation into two parts. The first part, I will share the do's and don'ts of gaining financial stability. Then the second part, if we have time, I will share a few nuggets from the book of Proverbs. I love the book of Proverbs. The nuggets are straightforward, straight to the point. It's full of really, really wise, punchy lines. If you are smart, you will take each of those lines and understand the meanings in depth. So let's go right into it. There are about 15 or 16 do's, and if you don't as well. So let's dig right into it. The first do, and I think we had already gone live when we started with the first do, which is to create a budget. You must create a budget. Your budget is the foundation of financial sense. And I had said when designing a budget, try to use tech tools. When I say tech tools, nothing too techy. You don't even need an app or anything. Just a simple Excel file. If you don't have a tech tool or you're unable to use an Excel file, ensure that even if you're using writing materials like Biro and paper or a tablet to do this work of budgeting, ensure that it is very detailed. A budget is only useful if it's detailed enough to capture your expected expenses and expected income. If your budget is not detailed enough, if your budget contains words like miscellaneous, chances are your budget is going to be faulty and you will not gain financial stability. A lot of people tend to use the word miscellaneous to cover all kinds of things, and that's where the mistake starts. Do not use the word miscellaneous. Call your expense by name. So, for instance, if you are going to be expecting 100,000 naira next month and you're creating the budget for that expected inflow, when listing out the things you're going to spend the money on, when creating your budget, list the items out by name. Don't say miscellaneous expenses. What does that mean? If you keep using the word miscellaneous expenses along the way as you go along, chances are you will spend beyond your means. If you're going to spend 5,000 naira on feeding, call it feeding. If you're spending 10,000 naira on transportation, call it transportation. If you are not sure what you will spend the money on, call it emergency and define what emergencies will be. Learn to get rid of the word miscellaneous from your budget. As much as possible, use an automated budgeting template for your budgeting so that it calculates as you go along and keeps a record of your budget template as the years go by, such that you can look back and say, oh, in the year 2022, I earned 200,000 naira and I spent 150,000 naira. So you have a track record and you can see your growth or decline as the case may be. So that's rule number one, or do number one, do create a budget. Number two, we are looking at the do's. Number two, do create an emergency fund. Life will happen. Life happens. Sometimes you plan and life comes up with something else. Life unplans you. But if you have an emergency fund, which obeys the rules of emergency funds, you will always be far more stable than those who do not have. Your emergency fund, by the simple rule of thumb for emergency fund is it should be able to cover your normal living expenses for 6 months. What does this mean? It means that if my cost of living, my normal living expenses, covering school fees, rent, etc., the things I need to live life decently as I currently am, if all of that comes to 100,000 naira every month, for example, my emergency fund should have a minimum of 600,000 naira. And that money should be in a place, what we usually call it a vehicle, in a vehicle that is as near liquid as possible. There's no point having an emergency fund sitting in risk assets, or I'm sorry, sitting in real estate or sitting in bonds. No, your emergency fund should be as liquid as possible because they are emergency funds. So please create an emergency fund. That is do number two. Do number three, do avoid the debt. Debt is DEBT. Please If you want to be financially stable, you need to conquer the spirit of irresponsible borrowing. You can borrow. Not all debt is bad. But when it comes to your personal finance, you need to be very careful when you start borrowing because really, he who goes out borrowing goes as sowing. Whenever you borrow money, it is expensive because you are going to pay interest on it. And when you borrow money, what you have said is that you are mortgaging your earnings from the future to solve a present need. Understand debt very well before you borrow. There are many factors to consider when borrowing funds, but as much as possible, avoid debt. So, do number three, do avoid debt, or where it cannot be avoided, try to minimize it to the barest, absolute barest minimum. Number four, so we are still on the do's. Do number four, do save and invest regularly. Here's what a lot of people do. There's a mistake a lot of people make. People will say, oh, this is not the time to save. Oh, inflation will erode your savings. Oh, it's better to invest. Oh, please, I beg you, understand the difference between savings and investment. Do not put the money meant for savings in investment and vice versa. Whenever you are investing, understand that what you have done is that you have created risk. Whenever the word investment is mentioned, understand that there's a connotation of risk underlying in that investment. If money that is meant for savings is put in investment and that investment goes south, you are in trouble. What are some examples of monies that should not sit outside of savings? Rent. Your rent will be due whether you like it or not. With the minute you pay your rent, it starts counting. Your rent should not sit in an investment vehicle. Please. I know you are tempted. Oh, if this money was in this investment, oh, I can get 200%. Oh, I can get 10%. Oh, inflation is this. All of those are distractions. Separate your funds. The ones meant for savings should sit in savings. If you think your savings are too small, increase your savings capacity. Increase how you make money, but please do not move money meant for savings to investments. So many people regret putting money in certain investment schemes when those funds should have been sitting in savings anyway. Okay, so invest, save, and invest regularly. And let me say something that you might find very uncomfortable, but it's true. When the times are hardest, is when you should invest and save more. Yes, you heard me right. For instance, times are really hard now. Instead of reducing your savings, this is the time to actually improve on your savings habit. This is the time to actually improve on your investment habit. Yes, as paradoxical as it may sound, because you do not know what the future holds. I hear a lot of people say, oh, if I had known, I would have started saving long ago. Or if I had put this 20,000 aside every month since for the past 10 years, by now I would be this, I would be that. And I say to them, but when it was then, you were also told to save, and you said those were hard times. Now you have seen harder times. Do you understand? Because you do not know what the future holds. As much as possible, improve on your savings and investment regularly. So remember, do number four, do save and invest regularly. Do number five, live within your means. Live within your means, please. And for you to live within your means, you need to even know what your means are. In this country, everyone seems to be everyone seems to be residing in a posh apartment. Everyone seems to own their own homes. Everyone seems to be paying rent. Everyone seems to have children in private schools. Everyone seems to be a big boy and a big girl until it's time to look at their finances and you see that they are all in a hot mess. Please live within your means. If the times call for you to be strict and cut back, please cut back. It is not everything, okay, so let me put it this way, it is not everything you desire at every time that you should get. It is not everything your children want that you should get. Your children will be fine. Parents, because parents put unnecessary pressure on themselves. See, live within your means. People don't care. People don't care as much as you think. When you spend all of that money on that beautiful hair, the beautiful bag, the beautiful shoes, there's something I say to my clients a lot. I say to them, look, when I see that your beautiful handbag with your beautiful pair of shoes, what I owe you, that's if I even want to give to you anyway. But the best I can do for you is to look at it in admiration and say, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, what beautiful bag, what beautiful shoe. That's the best I'm going to do. So if you borrowed money to buy it, are you buying, are you borrowing because of my, oh, it's so beautiful? Because when I go, I've forgotten about your shoe, I've forgotten about your bag. You are left with your debt. And the truth is, I really, truly do not care. People don't care. They are going to move on and live their lives. So don't live your life to impress people who don't even matter. The people who matter will not want you to waste your money. So please, 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 and please live within your means. And believe me, you will typically know when you are going overboard. Do number 6, do plan for the future. Plan, not pray, wish, hope, desire, anticipate. I said plan. Africans want to live forever. They want to live long. They want to live for 200 years, but they do not plan as though they want to live beyond 2 years. A typical African will say, I'm praying to God for long life. And you ask them, what does long life mean to you? You say, oh, 120. Then you ask them, how much do you have to fund your 120 years? And you look at what they have to fund it. They have barely enough to fund 2 months. So why are you living? Why are you planning? Why are you praying to live long and planning to live short? Please plan plan for the future. What you plan for the future will determine the quality of the future you will have. Plan as though you want to live long and make adequate preparations. Do number 7, educate yourself. Yes, you are your biggest asset, you, the person. What do you know about money? What do you know about investments? You're praying to God for a lot of money, tens of millions of dollars. When He gives it to you, what are you going to do with it? Do you know the difference between bonds and treasury bills? Do you even know the difference between current account and savings account? Are you asking for hundreds of millions? Who is going to give it to you? You must build your capacity as a person. And when you're building your capacity in different areas, you must also build your capacity in terms of financial literacy. You need to build your financial literacy capacity so that you can manage the funds you are praying and wishing and hoping and working to acquire. A lot of people spend their lives working hard to make money and then do not spend any time of their lives trying to understand the money they are working and spending their whole lives trying to make. So please educate yourself. Do number 8, protect your assets. When we set up financial plans for clients, there's an aspect of your financial plan called a risk plan. A risk plan a risk plan presupposes that everything you own you can lose, right? So you must plan to mitigate those losses. Every asset you have can be lost. You must protect your assets. And guess your biggest asset? You yourself. If you lose your life, what happens? Who is most affected? So, what have you done to protect your life? What have you done to protect your health? What have you done to protect your mental health, emotional health? This house you spent so much money to build, what have you done to protect the house? Some houses worth hundreds of millions do not have one fire extinguisher. No fire extinguisher. You spent tens of millions to put up an asset and you do not have the smallest thing that can be used to protect that house from the smallest fire. Is that right? It's not right. You spend a lot of money putting inventory in a shop. You stock up the shop with goods and you do not have the smallest fire insurance. What am I saying? You don't even have burglary insurance. Does that sound right? No, it doesn't. So you must learn to protect your assets. Do number 9, Diversify your investments. Many people tend to have investment portfolios that are skewed in a particular direction. That is not right, because if there's any risk in that area of their finance, their entire portfolio can get wiped out. So diversify your investments. Don't put everything in cash. Don't put everything in real estate. Don't put everything in bonds. Don't put everything in stocks. Diversify it as much as you can. And you are going to need a financial planner or a financial advisor to help you determine how diverse your investment should be. If you cannot afford one, then you need to study very hard and do it on your own. Okay. Do number 10, okay, which is what I just mentioned. Do seek professional advice. No, you don't know everything. You can be a neurosurgeon, but that's neurosurgery. You are not a neurosurgeon in finance. Pay a professional to render professional advice for you, especially Nigerians and Africans. We are very slow to pay for professional services. The only time we pay is when we have medical emergencies. Even then, we don't pay. We pay. We only wait until it is a crisis. That is one bad habit we must all begin to unlearn. Pay for professional advice. You don't know it all. There are people who can help you, who can guide you. Pay them to help. And please stop asking for freebies. Stop trying to pick people's brains. Professionals don't tolerate such things. If they have a fee, pay. If you cannot pay, ask them what they can offer. Look for the free resources online. If you can't pay a professional, then be ready to put in the time and put in the work to do your research yourself. Okay. And then you can join professional groups and bodies. That's, again, when you are joining those groups, you need to be careful that the people giving advice there have the common sense and the wisdom to render such advice. So, do number 10, do seek professional advice. Do number 11. This one is a cocoa. Do avoid impulse purchases. Impulse buying. Let me tell you the reason why you fall victim to impulse buying. It's because you don't have a budget. If you have a good budget and you follow your budget, impulse buying is almost impossible, because the funds for that impulse to the funds to buy that impulse request or impulse to good or whatever it is or desire will simply not be available. So, for instance, I'm in a mall and I see a pair of sunglasses I really like. I really, really would love to get them. I look at the price tag and they say, oh, it's 75,000 naira. So, for me to be able to pay for those sunglasses means that I have 75,000 naira somewhere. But if I do my budget right, the 75,000 naira will not be available to make that purchase because the funds would have been properly allocated and placed in the right place. The only way I'll be able to make that impulse purchase is if I am going to sacrifice something for that purchase. So, for example, if I have, say, 90,000 naira left in my interest account for feeding, to buy groceries and feeding for the month, I have only 90,000 left. And I see the sunglasses, 75,000 naira, but all I have is 90,000 because all the other monies have been removed from my access, right? They've gone into the different places they should be as as required by my financial plan. When I remember that, hey, inside this account is 90,000 and I want to buy sunglasses of 75,000, my brain reset will happen. I will begin to ask myself, sure, when I buy these sunglasses, will I put stew on top and eat it as sunglasses and stew? Or how will I survive? So you see that I will struggle to make that impulse purchase because I simply do not have the means. Please, as much as possible, avoid impulse purchases. There's something I always say to people. When you think, oh, if I don't get this thing now, oh, why will I make it? For instance, when my children say, oh, mommy, let's travel for a vacation. Oh, mommy, I always say to them, see, the doors to vacation sites will always be open. Wherever it is you want to go in the world, the doors will be open. If the doors are shut, there will be other doors open. Don't put yourself, don't put your parents, don't put your spouses under unnecessary and undue pressure. And don't let anybody put you under pressure. Avoid impulse purchases. So that's do Number 11. Do number 12. Do number 12. Cut back on unnecessary expenses. These are tough times. You must make adjustments, except you are earning all the money in the world. Even those who are earning all the money in the world are making adjustments. If you used to travel 3 times a year for vacations and the soft life, when things become tight, you can reduce it to twice a year or once a year. If you used to spend so much money on food, but now food cost of food items has increased astronomically, instead of increasing your expense budget, you can change the nature of your food. For instance, that you used to eat only certain brands of cereals in the past. Things have changed. Change your You don't have to eat cereal. Eat something else. I remember when before my children went to school for breakfast, at some point started boiling yam for breakfast because the cost of living has tripled. In fact, in some places quadrupled, and the earning has not quadrupled. So everybody has to adjust. Now, for me to be able to do yam for breakfast, yam and egg sauce, it meant something had to be sacrificed. And what was that? Sleep. So instead of waking up at 15 minutes to 5, I just wake up at 5 minutes past 4. And I'm able to get a proper breakfast in place, a proper lunch pack in place. We still leave the house before 6 o'clock, and everybody is happy. But I see a lot of people, cost of living has gone up. You don't want to make any adjustments. You want to keep eating the things you were eating when your money was enough. You are not increasing your income. Instead, you are spending money on food, consumables, something that will not guarantee earnings in the future. You need to balance it out. You need to be very careful. See where you can cut back. See where you can, if an expense is not necessary, see how you can make some compromises. For example, children's school bags. Some parents insist, oh, every year my child must go with a new school bag, even when the old bag is functional. Why? Who cares? What exactly is the point you're trying to prove? A child has 10 pairs of shoes. At the end of the day, the child will probably wear only one pair because children have the shoes they prefer. They'll just wear that one pair. And then you see 5 other pairs of shoes are brand new and the child has outgrown those shoes. A total waste of money. All such unnecessary expenses should be cut back as much as possible. Do number 13. Do think long term. I can bet you, go and look at your plans. Go and look at all the plans you have made. They're probably short term. Go and look at all your financial plans. They're probably short term because you didn't do a proper financial plan. Go and look at your savings. Look, they are all short term savings. Go and look at your investment, short term investments. You must begin to think long term instead of saying, oh, what am I going to achieve in the next 3 months? Or what am I going to achieve at the end of the year? You need to start asking yourself, where do I want to be at the end of 20 years? Oh, what are my legacy plans? Oh, and then in the next 10 years, this is where I want to be. But what am I going to do month on month to achieve this in 10 years? That's what it means to think long term. I don't mean just sit down and have this beautiful dream. Or in 10 years' time, I want to be the CEO of my own company. Or in 10 years' time, I want to live in my own house. You're just dreaming. Those are pipe dreams. A real plan says, oh, in 10 years' time, I want to own my own house. How much will the house cost me in 10 years? What do I have to put in place? Am I going to build? Am I going to buy? If I am going to buy, what's the cost of the house today? If I apply inflation to it, what will be the cost in 10 years? How am I going to put the funds aside? What options am I going to use? Every single week, what work am I going to do to achieve this 10-year goal? That's how a long-term plan sounds like. Not, oh, I'm going to, oh, it's going to be, no, that's not what it is. A plan involves doing the work. Okay, so do number 13 was what? Think long term in terms of everything, especially when it has to do with your finances. If you really want to gain financial stability, you must think long term. Do number 14. I like this one. This is usually my favorite. Generate more income. Just go out there and go and make more money. You're just wasting any second you're not making more money, you're wasting time because you have the capacity to do so much more. You have the capacity to be so much more. You have the capacity to earn so much more. Go out there and make more income, generate more income. You don't need to start a new business. You have income generating opportunities residing in your current income space. Explore those options, collaborate more, create digital products, create digital solutions, network better, change your circle of friends and acquaintances if it's not aiding your growth. Work on yourself, do more, earn more, invest more, and gain financial stability. So you must generate more income, right? That's do number 14. Do number 15. Time is money. Use it wisely. It's unfortunate that many people cannot see the correlation between time and wealth. I see people waste their time. I see people linger over things that should be done speedily. I see people just stroll, I don't know what word to use, just stroll through life in a very languid, laissez-faire manner. And then when the end of their lives approach, you now see them feeling full of regret, saying, "Oh, I wasted so much time. Oh, how I wish, how I wish." Those are the I think those should be about the three saddest words in the English dictionary. Oh, how I wish I had done this. How I wish. What are you wishing? Do it now. Don't waste time. Why are you just scrolling through the pages of social media? What exactly have you achieved today? At the end of every day, you should actually do an audit of the 24 hours God gave you yesterday. Those are your 24 hours of talent. What do you have to show? And if you have nothing to show, I put it to you that you buried your talent. And when the master comes back, he's going to ask you what you did with the talent of time. What exactly are you doing with your time? Because time is the only truly non-renewable resource available to us. And it is so generously given to all. What are you doing with this generous gift that our Creator has given to us? Use your time wisely because believe me, time is indeed money. Okay? Do number 16. You must review your finances regularly. And when you're reviewing your finances, the ideal thing is to review it with your financial planner. If you don't have a financial planner, review with an accountability coach. If you don't have one, you have to review it yourself. The problem with reviewing yourself is you really are too close to your finances to be objective. But your finances are rather private. So I'm not sure it's something you want to review with everyone else. So if you don't have a financial planner, I don't know, you're going to struggle. Or get a partner. Maybe you can review with your spouse if you can. If your spouse is good enough to and objective enough, that's great. Or review with a child. I have a few clients who have their sons, so they look at their children and say, "Oh, this child has the financial discipline. This child has the traits to be my coach, my accountability partner. So I will work with this child. While this other child has strengths in other areas, this particular child has strengths in this area." So if you have those kinds of people around you, fantastic support. If not, you may have to review your finances yourself. But please, by all means, review your finances regularly. Let me give you an example of a very simple one that you can review. Easy peasy. Your financial statement, your bank statement. The end of April has ended. On the 1st of May, you got your bank statement and it was a PDF file. Download that statement if you haven't done so, and then look at it. What are you looking out for? You're looking at all the inflows, where money came in from. You're looking at how much came in. You're looking at how the money came, how regularly it came. Then you also look at the expenses. Where did money go? How did money go? What was I spending the money on? But beyond that, do you know what else you are reviewing? You're asking yourself, I had 50 withdrawals, but only two inflows. What can I do to increase my inflows? What can I do to reduce my withdrawals? Oh, those places I spent money on. What can I do to make sure I also get money from such kind of places? These people are paying money. It means that they are offering value. What can I do so that people will also pay me money? Because every payment I made from this account went into someone's account. What can I do to make sure that I'm offering something that will make people pay? That's what your statement looks like. So when you're doing a review, it's not just to look and say, hey, okay, bank did not make mistake. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for opportunities. You're looking for how your statements can be improved. And say you also want to see that month on month there's an improvement in your both in your cash flow and in your financial position. Okay. So that was do number 16, right? Do number 16 was review your finances regularly. Do number 17, and that's the last do we're looking at. I think we have used about half of our time. That's the last do we're going to look at. Find a healthy balance. It's not all about money. It's not all about cutting costs, cutting costs. Oh, I'm not going to spend money on this. No. In your financial plan, ensure that there's a place for balance. Don't cut back so much that you become sad, depressed, stingy. People do not want to be associated with you. Anytime they say, come, let's go and have fun, you say, no, it's not in my Tobore said we should not do, we should go and do budgeting. No, that's not what I said. Just ensure that there's a healthy balance. You can have fun without spending too much money. Do things. Remember what we said about financial stability, living life on your own terms, being happy without being a burden to yourself or without putting your finances under any kind of strain. So ensure there's a balance. In all that cutting back, ensure that you also find time to be happy and actually enjoy the art of living. Okay? So those are the we've looked at 17 do's. We will quickly, very quickly look at don'ts. The don'ts are very few. They are just 8 don'ts, I think, about 8 of them. And some of them are just the reverse or the opposite of the do's. Okay, so let's go. Don't number one, don't overspend. Very full stop, very simple. Do not ever overspend. Spend wisely. And one easy way to ensure you don't overspend is by moving the funds out before you start spending. If you use the right budgeting tool, you will not overspend because your budget will say move funds out for savings and investment before expenses. So don't number one, don't overspend. Don't number two, don't neglect saving. Some people say, oh no, I'll save next month. Oh wait, let me just spend first. Let me see if anything is left, oh, I will save. Some people say, oh, when I become rich, I will save. Some people say, oh, when I blow, I will save. Some people say, when I hammer, I will save. Some people say, you know what, I'm not supposed to save 10,000 this month. Every month I say I'll save 10,000, but don't worry. Instead of doing 10,000 in October, there's money I'm expecting. When that money comes, I will just save 100,000. Fiam, please, I beg you, resist that temptation and do not neglect your saving. In fact, save first. It is after you have saved, what is left is your real income. So don't number two, don't neglect saving. Don't number three, don't ignore debt. If you are owing people, please pay. And if you are owing a debt that carries a high interest load, pay it off first, if as much as you can. Some people say, I am owing her. She should wait. She will understand. I beg, I beg, I beg. I will pay them next week. Or I know I'm owing them. Let me just add another small one so that it will be round figure. If you're in that school of thought, I beg you, don't ignore that. Don't underestimate the power of bad debt. Don't think you didn't have the money to pay last year. Suddenly you think you will suddenly have the money to pay the debt they are still incurring. If you didn't have money to pay, which made you borrow, what makes you think you will have money tomorrow? Please avoid debt as much as you can. Don't ignore debt. Don't assume that you have it all covered and that you will handle the debt in future. Okay, that's don't number three. Don't ignore debt. Don't number four. Do not ignore insurance. Nigerians, I know people don't like insurance. Oh, there's nothing I've not heard. Insurance is the biggest, best kept secret of the wealthy. I said it. The truly wealthy people of this world don't joke with insurance. Then you that you don't have money, you're playing with insurance. Why? Please don't ignore insurance. Insurance is another topic entirely. But what I will say to you here and now is if you are not getting your insurance game on point, please go and fix it. Don't ignore insurance. Don't number five, which is what we have talked about before, don't make impulsive financial decisions. In fact, don't make impulsive decisions. But even if you must make impulsive decisions, please ensure that those decisions, those your impulsive decisions, do not affect your finances. Don't make impulsive financial decisions. Don't number six. This is the one that concerns me directly. Don't number six. Don't put off financial planning. Go and set up your financial plan. If you don't know how to do it, get in touch with a financial planner. If you don't know one, get in touch with me. But please don't. In fact, the day you set up your financial plan is the day your financial journey really begins. It's usually a shocker to people when they set up their financial plan and realize that they had no idea what exactly a financial plan was all about. But please don't put it off. In most advanced countries, a child is born into a financial plan. Unfortunately, over here, we don't even know what it is. But now that you know, do not put it off. Set up your financial plan immediately. Don't number seven. I promised us there are just going to be eight don'ts, and we're on point, right? Don't number seven. Don't rely solely on one source of income. See, I don't care how big or how stable you think that source of income is. Please do not rely on only one source of income. In fact, I recommend a minimum of four stable streams of income. Not I just random streams. No, I mean stable, regular streams of income. I recommend at least four in forms that are stable. So, what I usually will say to my clients, you should have a physical product, a digital product. You should make your money from a physical product, a digital product, a physical service, and a digital service as much as you can. So try as much as possible. On no account should you be making money from only one place. Some people say, no, it doesn't matter. This my one stream is more than your 50 streams. No, it's not. My 50 streams are stable. Your one stream, if anything happens to it, you are gone. And the problem with even having one stream is that when it's even threatened, even when nothing happens to it, when it's threatened, you start falling sick, you begin to develop palpitation. It comes with its own issues. But when you have multiple streams, and I mean stable streams, when you have several stable streams of income, you are calm. If there's a shake in any of them, you have the you have the temperament, the calmness to weather that storm because they are several and they are stable. And the last don't I'm going to share with us tonight is don't overestimate your willpower. Don't. I'm telling you, you are not as strong as you think you are. You are not as disciplined as you think you are. A lot of people say, "Don't worry, let them bring it. I will conquer it. Don't worry, I can't. I will not fall. I will not fail." It's not true. Take your money out of where you can fall into temptation because you are not as strong and as disciplined as you think you are. This brings us to the end of the do's and don'ts of getting financial or achieving financial stability. I said I was going to read a couple of verses from the book of Proverbs. Let me see, I will do a couple of them, maybe two or three. We've done 43 minutes. I will see. I will do I'll read a couple of the ones that are my favorites. The first one is from the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verses 33 to 34. It's a very common one. Most of us know it. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. A little sleep, a little slumber. Let me rest a little. I will do it tomorrow. Procrastination. Let me just rest small. I know I listened to that madam financial planner woman. I heard her. Ah, yeah, she said we should start. Don't worry, I'll start next week. I want let this month end. I will start very well in June so that it will align with a new month. I'm going to say to you, a little sleep, a little slumber. And that's how poverty comes. Poverty doesn't come, well, no, it sneaks in. Poverty steals its way into your life. And one of the surest ways to bring poverty by yourself, you open the door for an armed man, you by yourself, is by saying, let me rest a little. And then all of those phrases that have found their ways into our lives, you know, mean, I beg, I beg, I beg. Not be me. I don't keep person. I poor, I poor. Oh, I cannot keep myself. Let me enjoy myself. All of those things that you say to deceive yourself. The words I'm going to remind you about today will be a little sleep, a little slumber. And that's how poverty will sneak into your life if you are not careful. There's another one I like to use, especially for children. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. And that's from Proverbs 10:4. Proverbs 10:4, which is very similar to the popular one. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. Those two, I say them to children a lot. You should work hard. It's not just work smart, work hard. Have you ever seen an ant sleep before? No. Your ant is always at work. Your hands were not designed to be lazy. Your hands were designed for work. Look at your hands today and ask yourself, how hard have these hands worked? What do I have to show for these hands that have been put to work? When you say God will bless the fruit of your works of your hands, have your hands worked? If they have worked, He will bless them. If they have not worked, what exactly do you want Him to bless? Thank you very much for your time. This brings us to the top of the 45 minutes. I will take questions if there are any, but I hope we have learned a few things. Thank you. Oh, I can't hear you, or is it from my end? Are you muted? Well, I can't hear. Okay, I can
Thank you,
hear you
Ma.
now.
The session was very incredible. Thank you for the knowledge. The comment section, in fact, has been buzzing. Thank you very much for the knowledge you've shared. We'll give you a few minutes to catch your breath, even take a water break. But while you do that, Ma, something we missed, your bio, would like to let people know, the
Okay,
audience know more about you. Then we'll come back for questions and answer. Thank you, Ma.
okay,
Tobore Olumoye is a personal finance coach with 20 years experience working in the financial services sector. She helps individuals and teams set up their financial plan and achieve financial clarity. She has spoken to thousands of staff of organizations and members of religious and social groups, and she currently has over 200 clients across the world. She is an author and publisher of several inspiring books on financial planning. She is a graduate of chemical engineering and holds several certifications in financial planning, customer service, and public speaking. She is also a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants. A major driving force is a strong belief that Africans will do better financially if they know better. She is married with 3 children. Welcome Mrs. Tobore Olumoye as she speaks on the topic, the person in the mirror, being financially prudent, gaining financial stability.
My name is Egesin Banchedo. I'm a mother of 4 boys. I joined ATQ in 2002. I will not be able to say the exact month. Someone actually told me about it and sent me the link. When I joined, one thing I learned from that platform is that, with the way we read books and then break down the books, it opened my mind to how to really relate to children. I'm someone who likes learning, and for me that was an opportunity to grow and get better in my parenting journey. There was one constant language there. If a child can ask, then he should know the right information. So we call things by their name, we say things the way they are, we don't unmask things, and it's helping me to be more intentional in how I relate with my children. I didn't just benefit from it. The children actually benefited from it. So from ATQ, I learned about other subgroups that um, my children could benefit from, like the SAR conference, which is a yearly event. Since I joined that group, my children have participated, and for the first time we learned about goal setting. It's not something that we knew, but it's not something that we're intentional about it. They are intentional about. So we learned goal setting, and we have become more intentional. And those sessions are really eye-opening and mind blowing. Now I have all boys though, so we talk, relate well. We can be friends, very close, we can be friends. And then, when I have to switch back to my mommy role, there's no, there's no, I don't know how to put it now, but it's really a journey. I'm one of the quiet members on the platform. I hardly interact on the group. I just read through questions and all that, but it has really been so beneficial for me. Another thing I learned, also the monthly um how we do it program is also quite educating. The lessons are all encompassing. You learn from it, you grow as a person, you have opportunities to deal with your past and then help you in your parenting journey. It's like a pool of resources where you don't have to know it all. That platform, answers come, different minds rubbing together, give you answers to your problems. And it's so real. It's where you can be real and be yourself. Another thing I also benefited from was the joining the accelerated group. So from that platform, probably I wouldn't have learned about the accelerated group if I didn't join ATQ. And it's been a journey of growth, of becoming, learning about myself, unlearning and relearning. It's really a beautiful community to join. You don't just benefit, everything about you benefits and thrives. God bless you, Auntie Stella, for really being a blessing. My name is Egesin Banchedo. I'm a mother of 4 boys.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It's been an amazing session. Permit me to say that Mrs. Tobore Olumoye is my husband's financial coach, and let me do some amebo. I am the woman that will just go and hang at the back and just be eavesdropping when sessions are on. So one of the days I was eavesdropping, I said, mommy, I don't know. I wish she can come and speak on no conference. That's the way I said it. Let me be honest, with bedroom voice. He said, okay, I'll do the talking. I'll talk to her. I'll talk to her. I think he said you are his classmate, something like that.
Yes, we
Then
were classmates.
I'll talk to her. And I was like, okay, ma, for 3 weeks. Uncle, talk to her now. But I'm so happy to have you here, man. The truth is that I have learned a lot from you just by sitting
Thank
by his side and eavesdropping. Honestly, it's eavesdropping. A lot of I just came to eavesdrop. But thank you so much. I am seeing the impact of the
you.
things he's actually learning from your sessions also. So I will not hesitate to say that Coach Tobore is fit to be your financial coach. Please, my husband listens to her. I'm telling you that she is she came here because my husband, it was the relationship is between her and my husband because she is his financial coach. So for a man to see, men, sorry, men, please don't be angry. For a man to agree to sit under her tutelage to learn finances, that's to say she's good. So once again, thank you very much, Ma, for being here. I've seen some amazing comments on the session here. IJ is saying, I saw IJ's comments. I can't see it again now. So please, everyone, please drop your questions. If you have a question for her, we have just about 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, she said amazing session. Sahid Adeyinka Bello is saying awesome coach, amazing session. Yes, I learned
Thank
so much
you.
also by seeing her, and she was shaking the table too much. Oh. For me, she was shaking the table too much. When she said, don't call it miscellaneous, I had fought with that. I said, what do you mean by don't call it miscellaneous? And he will say, go and write what you used it for. So why is this man punishing me? Say, go and write it well, the way you spent it, and bring it. So thank you very much, Ma. I also have an accountability group of ladies. Some of them are here. Who, yeah, these are part of the things we also talk about, our finances. It's important to work on your finance so that you don't finish working tomorrow and you can't say this is what I did with my money. Regret is real. People regret is real. People finish their work life and they can't hold their hand to. Even if it is 50 by 100 plots, they will say this is to it what I worked for. But you see, all along they will make all their excuses. Excuse is very simple to make, very sweet self to make. But then regret is real. After all the excuses, what next? She has told us all the things to do. And she ended it by saying, don't make excuses. Don't don't overestimate yourself. Don't say I will do it tomorrow. Do it today. Please, we're waiting for your questions. Okay, someone Maria Ngozi is saying, very amazing session. The little I had is so mind blowing. Thank you so much for that. I have two questions I wanted to ask. You talked about not just having your financial plan, but you suggested that we use financial apps. So please, Ma, can you suggest any app we can use? Yes, Ma.
Okay, so
Any
okay, for
app,
for your
yes.
budget, for the
Let's
budgeting
say
template.
for budgeting, yes, Ma.
Okay, I actually designed one myself, which is available. If you go on Instagram or on Seller, you should see it there. But it's a simple tool. I designed it myself using Excel. Very simple. But the beautiful thing about it is that it shows you every conceivable expense you can imagine. Because most
Yeah.
times why we use the word miscellaneous is because we do not remember expense names. So it lists out everything and then shows you how to use it. Then I have videos on YouTube. You can watch my videos on YouTube where I explain how to use it. So even if you cannot pay for it's not expensive. It's 1,500. If you don't
Wow.
want to even pay for it, you can design it yourself. If you watch the YouTube video, you can design your own Excel template yourself by using it. So my
Okay.
YouTube handle is at Tobore Olumoye. Just look for the training I did at the beginning of this year, the financial roadmap 3.0. If you watch it from beginning to end, your life will never be the same again. Never.
I hope we're hearing that. So please don't trust yourself that you alone can do it. You need a coach. Don't say what are they saying. I'm telling you, you need a coach. You need to sit under some people sometimes and just listen. Then you realize that you don't know everything,
Absolutely.
including finances. And it will help you even in your family and in raising of your children. Your children should know that there are places you go to learn.
That's
They
right.
should know that there are places you cling to learn. Sometimes I hear my husband say, please, I'm in a session. My children also hear me say, please, I'm in a session. Please, I'm learning. My coach is talking. So please don't say, they have come again. What will these people teach me about money? Can I tell you there are so many things you don't know about money? Even if you have worked in a financial institution. I worked in a financial institution, but there are so many things I've had her say, and some other people say that I didn't know, even after working there. So please don't say it's not necessary. See, very simple 1,500. Is there any reason why anybody will not buy this one again? Please go and buy in the name of Jesus. Amen. Okay, the next one I wanted to ask is long term. We were talking about that we shouldn't do short term goals. Someone is loving on you here. She says, "Well done, Stella and Coach. It's a good one. Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Mrs. Hope. All right, that's my senior wife. I mean, my senior co-wife.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. You said something about not doing short term financial goals. We talked about long term. Can you give us a few examples of what long term goals and short term goals so that we know? Because it's possible we just set our goals with not really knowing which is long and which is short. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay, so what I meant when I said that was when you are planning, ensure that you think long term. Let me give an example where a goal is both short and long. School fees. What you
Okay.
see a lot of parents do is they always think about the school fees with respect to the class that the child is. So a typical male will say, "Oh, I want to pay next term school fees." We're in May, right? The next fees will come up. Oh, this third term,
September.
right? This
Yeah,
third
this
term.
got
Aha. Okay. So they'll say the next fees will be September. Between now and September, go run on one kind, one kind. We'll see how we can just gather, and pay. If we cannot run it, we'll borrow. We'll just do it. We'll do it foreign. That's
Hmm.
short-term thinking. That child will be in. If that child is in primary one, you're forgetting that the child will be in primary two. The child will be in secondary school. The child will be in university. That child is going to be in school for 21 or 22 years. So explain to
Hmm.
me why you are only planning for 3 months. Because that goal has a long-term aspect, but it also has short-term aspect. So what I'm saying is ensure that in your planning, you recognize the long term. Same thing with living. You want to live till you are 100 years, and that's fine. But when you are planning as if you will die next week. Because the money you have will last you only till next week or next month. I'm saying that when you plan like someone that wants to live up to 100 years. Same thing with building, same everything. Your plan should have a long-term outlook with short-term immediate solutions. So even though it's long term, you must see how you're going to be meeting it small, small, month on month, day by day.
Hmm.
I hope that
Thank
helps.
you. Yes, ma. Thank you so much. So we've had it. You don't just plan to pay school fees today, September. Know that if you are seeing the vision that your child will go to that school that you like, it's today you begin to save for it.
Absolutely.
Because that day will one day come. The child in kindergarten today will one day get to the university.
That's right.
Child in the kindergarten today will one day. So, like she said earlier, start today, start now. Put that money away. Don't there's no I don't know, but procrastination it's a big problem. We
Big
procrastinate
issue.
to the places where we should not even it should not be mentioned that you are procrastinating in. I think it was who I had it from or somebody who said if your children's school fees is giving you headache, then you have a problem. I think it was you that
Absolutely.
said it. If your children pay your children's school fees, that's when school fees time comes, it becomes a crisis, then you have a
It's
problem.
me.
You have a problem because school fees is not an emergency. It gave you time.
Absolutely.
Your house rent is not a problem. So you see, I used to sit behind ma to listen. Your house rent gave you 1 year notice, a
Absolutely.
whole year notice. So don't put your children under undue pressure because you did not yield to the notice. And then they are talking, you're shouting, and you're making your children feel like they're second class citizens in their own home because you, daddy and mommy, didn't do a good
Then do
plan.
your work.
There's no financial emergencies. You made it an emergency. Thank you so much, Ma,
Absolutely.
once again for being here.
Thank
Please, you
you.
can
Thank
follow
you.
her. When it's your next program, she normally have. Ma, please just
Okay.
tell us about the program you do. Yes, ma.
The, unfortunately, all the programs I have scheduled for the rest of the year are private events. In fact, I'm going
Wow.
to you tomorrow. I will be in Uwere. I'm all over the place. So people invite me to be in their programs. But the next one I will do myself will be in January 2025.
Ooh,
Yes,
okay, so
I
we have
had the
enough notice to be a part of it.
oh yes to join the financial growth tribe for next year. There's enough time, and you can start saving towards it.
So it's not an
So
emergency. Don't come in November
no,
and say, Coach
oh no,
Stella,
no, no, you have
Coach
enough time.
Tobore, I don't know how to do about. See, this is May. You have 7 months
Yes, but if you want one-on-one, that's different. Then you have to pay premium for it.
premium for it. Okay. Thank you once again, Ma, for your
Thank
time.
you so much
Don't
for
know how
having
you
me.
do
Thank
your
you.
last words, Ma. You like to have last
So,
words.
so what the last things I'm going to say to you is God has given you life. He has not given you a spirit of fear and timidity. But money can make you afraid. Money can make you sick, or the lack of money can make you afraid. Money can make you a slave to mormons. The easiest way to ensure that you don't fall into that slavery is to take control of your finances, take charge of your wealth that God has given to you. It's available, but you must show that you can take charge of it. Do the right thing, and then watch how God will bless you. Those are the last words I have to say, and I will end by saying, God bless you and God bless your finances.
Amen. Thank you so much, ma. One more last quote I like from you. This one I'm so sure it was from you. It said, "Let your last month's income have a handshake
With the incoming one. You are
incoming
really
income."
eavesdropping.
So once
Oh
again,
my
thank you
word.
very much, ma.
Thank you.
I,
Thanks for
I,
having
I
me.
sincerely appreciate. Thank you, ma, for taking out time out of your busy schedule to be here. Thank you so much for all you do
Thank
for
you.
my family. God bless you, ma. All right, just
Thank
before
you.
we
Thank
go,
you. Thank you.
everyone, the next session is by 8 p.m. I know you are gaining value. I know you are gaining value. So the next session is by 8 p.m. And guess who will be here? We have Coach Irene Bangwell, the girls' coach. The Knox 100 Naira a day school will be our next session this evening. So if you've been blessed by the first two sessions, then know that this one too is going to be a banger. So looking forward to seeing you 8 p.m. Please stop coming alone. And if you've been here since, you've not subscribed, you've not liked, you've not shared, again now, what is the issue? Help us grow this community. Love, share, subscribe, like, follow, whichever place you are watching from. Once again, thank you for being here this evening. Thank you so much, everyone. I know you have learned and I know you're learning. So, see you again 8 p.m. God bless you. Bye bye.